like my family and friends, like making sure I ate a healthy diet or got enough sleep and physical exercise, like taking some time out for myself in nature and away from my computer or my mobile phone or television. All of these things that work together to create balance and harmony in our lives and affect our overall well-being. So it is for this reason that I chose well-being for this month's topic, because well-being is not just something I need to focus on. We all need to look after our well-being. True happiness and productivity can only be achieved when we take a holistic approach to living and seek a healthy balance of emotional, physical, and mental wellness. In March 2020, the COVID pandemic changed our world. COVID has affected our physical and mental well-being. No one has been untouched by the happenings of the last 18 months. Facing an infectious disease, we have been forced to maintain distance from each other, all while going through levels of fear, uncertainty, job loss, and grief that many people have never experienced before. According to a new survey done by Harvard Business Review of nearly 1,500 people from 46 countries, the majority of us are still struggling with general and workplace well-being. So you can see from the image on the right-hand side of this slide that when asked how their general well-being had changed since the beginning of the pandemic, 85% of the respondents said it had declined. Of those, 50% said the cause was a decline in mental health, such as increased stress and anxiety. 20% reported having trouble meeting basic needs, such as regular physical exercise, enough sleep, and a healthy and nutritious diet. 20% said the cause was feeling isolated and having less social connection. And 13% said the cause of their mental well-being decline was because of home life struggles. This includes the challenges of parenting, as many parents have had to work from home while also homeschooling their children. People have also reported relationship breakdowns and lack of personal time, because our personal lives have collided with our work lives, and it has become very difficult to separate the two. But now I would like to spend a little bit of time getting to know all of you out there a bit better. I would like to know, how has your well-being been affected by COVID? And I'm hoping that everyone will share with me in the chat. So can we spend the next minute? Please share with me, how has COVID affected your well-being?
Và bây giờ thì xin mời mọi người mình sẽ tương tác với khán giả bằng việc là mình đặt những cái câu hỏi, những cái câu trả lời về cái ảnh hưởng của Covid đến sức khỏe mọi người như thế nào nha. Chúng ta có 5 phút để tương tác. Xin mời các bạn.
Thank you, Marlon. So Marlon has shared with all of us. He has said it has been much harder to stay active. And what else did you say there, Marlon? Stay active, and he's been eating too much. Thank you so much for sharing here. Staying at home too long makes you stressed. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And other people have shared too. It becomes easier to get angry. That's right, because you're stressed, you're at home the whole time, you're worried about family, um, and working from home and looking after your children. It can make you a bit angrier.
Hi, Mrs. Zeger, Mrs. Tamrin Zeger.
Yes, hello.
Can I speak a little bit? So I'm Thương Vũ. I'm from Germany now. So I'm based in Germany now. So thank you for your speech. For your question, I think the COVID has quite a big effect on people's life. For my personal lives, it affects the mental health, not really significant, but for my physical health it affects a lot because I don't have chance to go out and also do some outside sport or activities. So during these one on half years or 2 years, I have to go to doctor a lot to check my my physical health because it has some problems, because I have to sit a lot at home or sit a lot in the office. So I have some health problems with my necks and my shoulders because it has some physical tension muscle. Yeah, that's from my
Oh,
side.
Tungbu, thank you so much for being so courageous and coming off mute and sharing with all of us here today. I
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate it.
you. Yeah,
And to
thank you, my
everyone,
privilege.
thank you. And to everyone that has shared with me in the chat, that does take a lot of courage to come out and say that you have struggled through this time. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, I appreciate. Thank you too.
Thank you, Tungbu. So everyone, how do we now take back control of our well-being? How do we start to flourish or bloom like a flower again, despite the impact of COVID on our well-being? At Udemy Business, we run monthly reports to identify some of the main categories of courses that are trending or most popular with our learners across all clients globally. And over the past 18 months during COVID, our data indicates that our learners are looking to empower themselves with knowledge on how to cope with the various factors of our changing world. This slide displays the data for the September monthly report and shows the top surging soft skills. So you can see that some of the more trending or popular categories are around communication and social connection. The examples of these are courses on conversation skills, coaching, and team building. But there has also been a 52% increase in trends around self-awareness, which is telling us that Udemy business learners are taking it upon themselves to learn about how they can further self-improve on their overall well-being. Earlier on, I mentioned how well-being is a harmonious balance of several different elements. The 8 main elements of well-being are represented on this wellness wheel. But even before COVID, a lot of us found it very challenging to strike a healthy balance of all of these elements. And for many of us, we didn't even know how to begin to start learning about taking care of our well-being. However, as part of the FPT team, you have access to the Udemy Business platform. And as Udemy Business learners, you have access to over hundreds of courses that cover all the elements of well-being. Now you can see from this slide, I've taken a screenshot of the Udemy Business platform to show you how I simply typed in the word well-being into the search bar, and then the Udemy Business platform started to generate some course results on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, I've got some examples of what was generated after I typed in well-being. But you can also access courses on well-being by selecting the category personal development from those most popular topics or categories that run across the top of your screen or web page. And the results will also show you subcategories that you can choose from, such as arts and creativity, health and fitness, and personal growth. The platform will also suggest courses to get you started. So you can see in the middle of the screen that you can sort and filter those course results by those that are most popular or new to the platform, or those that are simply trending online. But please remember that this is just one screenshot of the courses that are available. There are so many more on Udemy Business, so have fun exploring. Becoming more conscious and self-aware of your well-being and making time for your personal development can lead to self-mastery. Self-mastery is the ability to recognize, understand, control, and make the most out of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self. Self-mastery over your own thoughts, emotions, words, and actions can change and transform your life and yourself. But these changes don't need to be done overnight. These can be small daily changes in behaviors that you make to improve yourself over time, beyond the upskilling of what you do for work. And self-mastery means something different to everyone. It's very personal because it's about bridging the gap that will bring you the most fulfillment in your life. Self-mastery for you may mean learning a musical instrument or a new language, or it could mean improving your physical fitness or learning a cooking skill, or maybe you've always wanted to learn chess. It could be as simple as dedicating and committing to a half-hour a day to reading. Self-mastery is about you and what will bring you the most satisfaction and fulfillment. Now, again, these are just some more of the examples of courses that you can find on Udemy Business that you might find interesting and fun to learn. Today, I started off by talking about well-being, how well-being is a balance of elements that relate to our physical, mental, and emotional wellness. Maintaining well-being is challenging at the best of times and has been even more difficult as a result of COVID. However, COVID has highlighted the importance of taking responsibility for our own well-being And even when we don't have the answers, to use it as an opportunity to learn how to look after ourselves better through personal development. We also discussed how learning and personal development can lead to self-mastery, and that self-mastery is personal. And whatever you seek to learn, you need to take action and commit to small improvements every day. Your organization, FPT, have given all of you here today access to Udemy Business, a wonderful learning resource where you have knowledge at your fingertips, knowledge that takes you beyond what you do for your day job. When it comes to well-being and self-mastery, it's not learning that you have to do. You can choose what to learn and when to learn. So I want to finish off my speech today by asking you one last question. I would love to hear something that you have always wanted to learn. So this could be relating to improving your well-being or towards self-mastery. This does not have to be a course on Udemy Business. I just want to know what you have always wanted to learn. So please share with me in the chat. I'll start. I have always wanted to learn to speak Italian. And after preparing for today's session, I actually enrolled in an Italian course on Udemy Business, and I've been listening to it on my mobile phone while I walk the dogs. So please, everybody, I want to hear about what do you want to learn? What have you always wanted to learn about? Please share with me, and I can see some of them coming through. Lovely. Someone said Spanish. Love to learn. Oh, lots of languages here. Oh, someone put in here they would love to start to sing, but they've never really started. Thank you for sharing that. And remember, there are singing courses on Udemy Business too. And here we go. Somebody else shared Japanese. Oh, lots of languages coming through. And here's another one. Someone sent through that they want to learn meditation. That's a really wonderful one because not only is that's a skill that you can take with you, it helps you for stress management and healthy for your mind and your body. I think that's a great one. Any more? Any other shares? This is a very good one. Someone has shared that they would like to learn how to save ourselves or save themselves from negative thinking. I think that is a very important skill to learn. And there are a lot of courses on Udemy Business around what we call neuroplasticity, about rewiring your brain to change the way that you think and to focus more on the positives. So look at those, explore those on Udemy Business. Thank you, everyone, for sharing with me in the chat. I really appreciate it because I can't see many of your faces, and this makes it seem more real that you're out there, you're listening, and you can hear me, and we are sharing this time together. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you for being here today. I also want to say thank you so much, Mr. Long, Han, and Kung, for inviting me to participate in this month's Topic Champion to talk about well-being. I have had a wonderful time, and I hope that you all found the content of today's speech interesting and worthwhile.
Okay, thank you, Thang Bing. Thank you so much for wonderful, useful, and helpful you just share with us. And now we will open the question. Okay, everyone, you can turn on your microphone and give the question to interact with the speaker, Mr. Tham ngày hôm nay. Ok, mình xin mời mọi người. Cương, do you have something to share with us today?
Yeah, I would love to ask something true, but before I'm asking, I see there is a question from Thảo here in the chat box. So we would give the higher priority for Thảo first, lady first.
Wonderful. Thank you, Con. So a question has come through asking that I share my favorite course list and what is my advice for learners when taking courses related to well-being. So to answer the first part of your question, I have shared a course list with Han and she will make it available on Udemy. So those are the courses that I looked at on Udemy that I feel were my favorites that I wanted to share with all of you at FPT. So please take a look online, log into Udemy and have a look. The second part, what is my advice for learners when taking courses related to well-being? I have two main points to make. Number one, I would say do a little bit at a time. You don't have to try and do meditation for 3 hours when you first start. Just take it slow and build a habit of learning. Do a little bit each day. So, like we spoke about in today's speech, small improvements every day. Not only will that help your own well-being, but it will also start to help you to build a habit to learn. And you will find that the more you do it, the more you learn. And my second part is when it comes to well-being, a good thing to do is to take time for yourself, but also share with somebody else, connect with somebody else when you are doing these courses. Learn with someone. Social learning makes learning more fun, and that means you remember what you learned. So thank you for that question.
Okay, the next question from Thảo. She said, right now I'm under some pressure from my family. It affects my mood and I get angry easily and have a hard time concentrating on work. And how can I calm down? Could you help her?
Sure. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for sharing that question. That's very courageous to share that in this platform. I would suggest the first thing to do is to maybe take a bit of time to yourself away from, and I know this is hard, especially during COVID, but if you are trying to calm down, you need to explain to your family that you need to take a bit of time and step away so that you have time to yourself to think through what has happened. Don't react straight away. If you react in anger, you might do something that you regret. So I would suggest to begin with, because I'm not a psychologist, the first thing to do is to step away for a while and take some time to yourself, think it through, and then respond by communicating with your family about what made you angry.
Yeah, thank you, Tanvi. I think Thảo should research for mindfulness course in Udemy platform or meditation. I can see a lot of meditation and mindfulness course here. Okay, the next question.
Hello, hello, can I ask you? Hello.
Okay, xin mời Chí Thành. Xin mời anh.
Oh, hello, Tanvi. Your presentation is really short. I but I want to know more information about you.
Sorry, anh Thành ơi, anh có thể nói to hơn được không ạ?
Hello, can you hear me?
That's okay now.
Okay. Yeah, your presentation is really short, but I want to need more information. For me, when I stay home so long, I would try some methods to help me feel more happy, like meditation, reading book, listen to music, and running in home. But sometimes I feel just like I was depression and stress. I don't know why, because I know when I feel stressed, I try to apply all the methods to release my mind. But sometimes I felt in the normal day, I will come to the park and work for maybe 1 or 2 hours, or I will go to the gym center to yeah, just doing gym, lift weight, and to relax my mind, or I will go somewhere for forget anything. But now I just stay home and nowhere I can I can go. Yes, yeah. Could you please share some personal experience about my case? And I want to hear your advice as a personal trainer. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, can you share with me your name so that I'm pronouncing it correctly?
Oh, Tan.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Tan, for sharing that. That took
Yeah.
a lot of courage to share.
Yeah.
I have to tell everyone here today, I am very touched that you are sharing these personal things with me. But I must say that I am not a psychologist, so I am giving you advice based on my personal experience. So if you are feeling, Tan, if you have been feeling very depressed, I would probably suggest contacting a doctor to discuss how you could be put in touch with someone who can help you. But from my personal experience, I want to say that today we are all connecting and sharing our feelings, and that always makes us feel a little bit better to know that we have all been experiencing the same thing. So I would encourage all of you after today's session to get in touch with some of the other people here today that have attended this session, those that have shared in the chat. Get together and talk to them and share your experiences, because talking about it will make you feel a bit better. But I have to say, and I apologize, Tan, that I can only speak from my experience because I'm not a medical doctor. Thank you so much for your question.
Okay, thank you, Tan, and thank you, Tammy, for your answer. And the next question, I would like to invite Hiền Hoang. So, could you turn on your microphone?
Yes.
Okay.
When I hear Tommy speaking, I can imagine your character is very nice, and I heard your voice is so warm, and I wonder to the way to speak like you, the way to speak slowly, to confident, to warm, and I expect you have a positive energy. Because I think when I'm not calm down or not confident, maybe this is my mental health is not good. It affects my emotion in my voice, and so maybe can you give me advice to change my voice or to change the emotion, the temperature, or something like that. And you got my idea, you got my worry.
Thank you so much for that. How do you pronounce your name? Hong?
You call me Hiền. Yeah.
Is it Hong?
Hiền. My name Hiền.
Hiền.
Is last name.
Okay. Hiền, thank you so much for sharing. That took a lot of courage, and you have proven to me and to yourself that you have more confidence than you thought you did. By sharing that with so many people here today, I have to say that I practiced today's speech so many times because, like you, I get so nervous before speaking in front of people. So thank you for telling me that I sound confident. I worked really hard at it. So what I can say to you is, don't stop trying. You are doing really well so far. And I would suggest, if you feel that you would like more help with confidence and speaking in public, there are also courses on Udemy that you can do that will help you. So it is about learning and practice. And remember, I'm not perfect. I worked really hard. Marlon has listened to my speech several times this week so that when I came to you today, I made a good impression. And thank you for telling me that I did.
Yes, because when in a normal time, I speak in English or in Vietnamese, I speak very quickly. So when in front of many people, maybe my heartbeat is racing, and I can't keep calm, and I want to speak slowly. This is a difficult way, and maybe that need more practice.
Yes, I agree. I speak slowly, and that took a lot of practice too. But you can do it. You just need to practice, and you will always improve.
Hiền, can you hear me?
Yes.
You are speaking slowly right now. The way you are communicating to us, you are doing exactly what you are saying you cannot do. You are actually doing it right now. So you're actually showing yourself that you can do it, and the rest of us that you can do it. So good job. You're doing it.
Thank you.
I feel the same, Hiền. You speak really slowly.
I very tried.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hiền, your English is much better than my Vietnamese.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I just want to, may I just share quickly? I just want to share, I had a conversation with Marlon earlier about how impressed we are with everyone in Vietnam, how you are speaking English as your second language, and look how well you are doing. That is amazing. I can't speak a second language as well as you can. So please commend yourself. It is wonderful to see you here. You are participating in our conversation. You listened to my speech, all in English, your second language. I couldn't do the same with Vietnamese.
Okay, thank you for your engagement and thank you, Marlon. The next question. Okay, guys, you could turn on your microphone and can speak with us about your concern, and Tom will answer you.
And have one question. yeah, in my case, I feel really hard to keep a balanced life. So I'm trying my best to keep good performance at work and to try to be a good mother of 2 kids at home. And finally, I found that I couldn't find any quality free time for myself. So I'm looking for any advice from you to, have better life, no more stressful, and to be free with other people, more open with other people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your question. I have to say that I am a mum too. I have a 2-year-old, and I find it very difficult to find time for myself. What I have found works is to block out a half an hour every morning after I drop my little girl at school, that I spend for myself, doing whatever I need to do and relaxing. I know that it isn't a lot and it might not be the same for you. You may not have the opportunity to have that much time for yourself every day. But if you can block off just a little bit of time for yourself every day or every 2 days, then at least you're getting some of that time to reflect and spend on yourself. Do you think that's something that you could start doing?
Yeah, I think I always start my day by doing daily skincare routine. So kind of taking care of myself. But there is one more question that sometimes I feel really guilty that I spend a lot of time for working, then I don't have enough time for my kids. Feel like I am not a good mother. So there is a struggle inside me, and I don't know how to get out of it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I can relate as well. I also feel guilty for not spending more time with my children. And I have to say that it's a very difficult question to answer. I don't know whether I can answer that for you. The only thing that I can say is that you are sharing your question and your feelings with us all today. Maybe what we need to do is after this session, maybe Kung, Han, Mr. Long, maybe we need to create a platform for the people of FPT so that they can share some of their struggles and so that you can get advice from each other of how to address some of these feelings that you are having and challenges.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Also, I am not really looking for a specific answer from you, but I think this is a chance for me to speak out of my thoughts, my feeling, and it's also kind of therapy for me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Cảm ơn chị Châu. The next question.
I really don't have the question now, but I would like to add some more points that Tamrin just mentioned. The way we organize this kind of a channel is the way that we expect that it will be the channel for everyone in the company to share, not only the thing that you are matter, but also the thing that we need to find some help. And the thing that Joe mentioned, I do believe that it's not specific to someone, but it's our own problems. Because in this life, in this busy life, we sometimes we see the opposite of the thing. Like when we taking a lot of time, when we take a lot of time to work, we think that that's bad for our family because we try to work a lot, find some money for taking care of our family member. But in the other side, when we take a lot of time to work, we spend less time for our family. And we did, I myself did ask Mr. Long this kind of questions, like how to balance that kind of thing. Because if we spend less time to work, then we don't have a lot of money to take care for our family. But when we spend a lot of time to work, we have less time for family member, right? And I got the right answer Mr. Long give me. Like what I see Carol with the page in the chat box, that is about quality time. I would say something that I have learned from Mr. Long here. He shares the experience that only 1 or 2 hours spending for the baby or for the wife for our family member is not really much, but it could generate a lot of value if we really do that kind of quality time. When we spend time for our family member, we spend 100% of ourselves, like without any mobile phone or any other stuff that could distract us from the conversation with our member in the family. So we could spend 100 or even more than 100% of ourselves to the family member. So even when we have less time, we still can generate a lot of value from that time. And I do believe that our member in the family will they will acknowledge that they will they can feel the love, they can feel the value time that we are giving to them. So that might be a way you can learn from the practice that I have learned from Mr. Long as well. So hopefully it helps.
Thank you, Kuong, for mentioning me. So I will take some time to continue this let's say this topic and question. I myself have gone through all of this. So sometimes I feel guilty, not spend enough time to my wife and my little kid, and through all the experience, I'm not a medical doctor, so it's also my personal experience. I must admit that, but I really gone through with. I think I overcome it. Now it's very hard to make me angry, and I very. It's also hard to see my depressed. And one of the thing I found is that we cannot separate our life from the work. We can not separate ourselves from the people, the dear people surrounding us. So here the one key thing I name is attention. So when we are with someone, be wholly heart there, not passively. And then that is the way to help to make the intensity, even if it's short time, half an hour or an hour. And also there are a series of courses in Udemy I find very helpful. It's called conscious business. It's really crucial to our time, because nowadays the time we work is kind of like integrated with the way we live. So in those courses, there's some hint, some advice to help us to be ourselves at work, how to collaborate better with the people surrounding us. So the time at work is not any more stressful. It's more energy generating. So that when we come back home, we can set that aside and be really present with our dear member. And because I see several questions regarding the negative thinking, or kind of like how to manage the temper, how to not get angry. I also find I insert here one of the core value from the Stoicism. So it's really a theory, philosophy of how we live. But the core thing there is that how we cope with a situation on the time. Everything happen, we can practice to overcome that. We not let our emotion overrule us. We use our conscious mind to take a pause and really look at the situation and consider that is really separate in group. So the first thing is kind of like the thing we consider we cannot influence at all. Like I have a plan to go out with my friend, but in the morning when I go out, we have a storm. it's heavy rain, you cannot even go. So then it's something I cannot change. The storm due to our technology now, we cannot change it yet. So I have to accept it. So set it aside. Don't be angry about it because you cannot change it. And the second group is something we said that it's really depend almost only on us. So if I make my commitment, I do it, I can do it. That is the thing I will focus to do. And in between, there's something that we can influence, but it's not totally depend on us. Usually depend on the people surrounding us. For example, something at work, we need to collaborate with our colleagues to make the project run, for example. Then we need to know that thing take time. I need communication and collaboration. It cannot just be like we want because it's a team, several people. So by separating those things and take a pause before anything happens, not react right away, take the pause and classify it and take the appropriate response to that. Really help us a lot, not falling in negative thinking or anger reaction. And if someone interested in that, you can just read some book regarding Stoicism. In Vietnamese, they call this chủ nghĩa kỳ quên mất cái tên rồi. Ở Việt Nam thì nó gọi là như kiểu là rất là nghiêm khắc với bản thân, khắc kỷ, chủ nghĩa khắc kỷ. Okay, that is my setting. Thank you.
What do you think now, Châu?
Are you asking me?
Yes. How do you think after some sharing? Is it
Yeah,
better now?
I think it's great that you listen to my problem and I have a chance to receive a lot of support, advice from all of you, and I feel and I am very touched, and I feel that it is a great trend to speak out my problem, to find out the solution, and yeah, I think that's the reason why I joined this course, and I am not alone. I have a chance to find a solution for myself. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes left. So any question?
So hi, I have 2 small questions if we do have time. Yeah. And so my first question is that, so they say it is the era of Zoom and cry. Personally, I've been quite suffering from having so many meetings virtually, and also after the whole day of calling and videoing with my colleagues, I feel exhausted. And then I feel like I don't have enough time to actually do any like complete any of the tasks that I am assigned. And then when I'm done with the day, I feel quite exhausted in the evening. So I want to know if any of you are experiencing this, and do you have any tips regarding this problem? And also my second question, if I'm not mistaken, then Ms. Tamrin, you said that you have been on board with Udemy for 13 weeks. So it's quite recently, and I'm really curious about your experience with onboarding from home. Is it like, yeah, so mostly about your feelings, because here we are taking care of the experiences of newbies who are onboarding from home, and it's really different from the normal onboarding process. So I really want to hear your story. So yeah, so those were my questions.
Wonderful, thank you. Could you tell me how to pronounce your name?
My name is Quỳnh.
Quinn?
Yeah.
Lovely. Quinn, thank you for your question. Well, to begin with, Zoom Gloom, we call it here in Australia. You call it Zoom Gloom too in Vietnam?
I'm not sure, but I'm more familiar with the term Zoom and cry. You know?
Zoom and cry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zoom and cry.
All right. So your Zoom and cry is like our Zoom gloom. And yes, we definitely get it. And we try different ways to decrease it. And I'm also going to ask Marlon for some of his advice. But some of the ways that we try and reduce Zoom gloom is by doing meetings using different forums. You can't always avoid the meetings, but what you can do is try something different. So maybe you'll have a conference call so you can just talk like we used to. So have a call or find other ways to have those meetings. Marlon, do you have any advice for reducing Zoom gloom?
Question without notice, Tam. Thank you.
Sure.
So I think there's a couple of things. The first thing is so to Tam's point, sometimes if we, instead of doing a one-on-one, I'll just call her and I will walk outside and the meeting will still be happening, like to Tamron's point, like it used to, which doesn't feel like that long ago, but it does feel like a long time ago we would call each other on the phone to have a work conversation. Excuse me. The other thing is, as it relates to my team, the time they schedule for meetings, they know that they are empowered to schedule times for breaks. So a break is a meeting for Tamron. So if she wants to go walk the dog or anything at all, she has full empowerment to go and do that. I have no control over her calendar, so she knows that her well-being is just as important to me and the business as her performance. So it's really a matter of taking seriously the breaks and not saying it. And whatever the break is, it's for the team, it's communicated accordingly. So some of the team for lunch go and work out. Okay. Others, take a coffee break. Some walk their kids to school. All of those things are encouraged and they are scheduled in the calendar. And if I see that, I won't say, oh, she's not working hard enough. It's no, that's fine. That's really important. So that's a way of helping them find the balance and avoiding Zoom gloom. And it's the same for me. Like I have a family myself, and all of the same responsibilities that have been shared by everyone this afternoon. So I don't do as good a job as I don't always do what I say. So I need to get much better at doing what I say, but I, very, very strongly encourage the team to ensure that, so an example is Tamron has worked late tonight. It's 9:30 p.m. In Melbourne. So if she needs time next week, of course she's going to get it, because, there's no expectation for her to go back and then do all of the work she's had to do today again. So it's really a matter of ensuring that you can have that conversation with the business so they understand that, we all work more. We all absolutely work more from home. You can go back to back to back to back to back, and then it gets to the end of the day and you don't know what you even did. And then it's the same the next day, and then it's the same the next day, and then it's the same the next day. So I would strongly encourage you to, if you're feigning Zoom crying or Zoom gloom, schedule the breaks the same way you schedule all of your Zoom meetings.
Thanks, Miles.
Thank you.
So Quinn, to your second part, and I don't believe we have a lot of time left, so I won't spend a long time talking about it. But yes, I've been at Udemy for 13 weeks, and my onboarding process the entire time has been from home. Sometimes it's very challenging. I think the most challenging part has been that I can't walk to the next department and ask them a question. Everything has to be done online and using either a wiki or connecting with someone through Slack or by email or other various means. But it has been made so much easier for me because our team at Udemy are very close and we have a culture that we help others, because ultimately when you help others, you're helping yourself. You are empowering them to learn so that they can, start working sooner and be onboarded sooner. So my feelings for the onboarding process have been very positive for this role. I don't know if it would have been the same with other organizations, but I have built close relationships with the people in my team already, and they are very much willing to help me. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you both Melon and Tamrin for your sharing. Yeah, so it's been really nice to hear it all from you guys. So thank you.
Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you, Win. Maybe one question is the ending of our topic today. One more time, I want to say thank you to Mr. Tamrin and Mr. Malun. Thank you so much. And maybe Mr. Long will have something to say before we stop the meeting.
I would like to express my thankfulness to Tamrin and also Malun for supporting her. The present today really a great chance for our people to express ourselves and feel connected. And I believe that people will learn from that. Some hint you have shared today will give our people the first step so they can go further to the way of being more mindfulness, more well-being, and then this this absorb, we call it absorb, learn and share forum. When we stay, I hope forever in the company, so that we here can come back and post more questions and discuss and sharing there, and other people who have not joined today can also benefit from that. Thank you very much, and I hope you will come back with us for other sessions in the future.
Love to. Thank you, Mr. Long. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Thank you, FPT team.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it. Great work, Tamrin.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. You too. Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.